Yay, we can go live. And if Jewel shows up, we'll have our triumvirate here. But before we go any further, let's have everyone introduce themselves. Introduce yourself first, since the lady isn't here to introduce herself.
It's Kadashi about Nito, and people are wasting their time counting down to E3.
Yeah, I don't know why people. Like, I'm seeing people on my Twitter feed being like, yeah, man, aren't you excited about E3? No. The only thing. The only thing that would make me excited about E3 this year is um, if E3 just went to a format where they just kind of, if everyone went to a format where they just emulated Nintendo's directs. Which, even though I find a lot of Nintendo's directs these days to be kind of lackluster, I still appreciate they don't waste my fucking time with a lot of bullshit where they're just like announcement, 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 or it's like a little bit of exposition and then game, exposition, game, exposition, game, exposition, game, and then like, you want to find more about these games? Go to the treehouse. That's great. Don't waste my time with a whole bunch of bullshit, like the Caffeine Man from that year, or Miyamoto with the Wii Music. The Wii Music Dancers. Don't mind that guy who's pretending like he's drumming. He's just having a stroke. So, yeah. It's me, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters, and let's get into it. We have quite a few stories this cast. Um, we're not doing so many news stories, but let me break down generally what we're going to be doing today. First, we have our top 5 tropes, genres, or news topics in gaming that we're tired of. Second, we shall cover moments in gaming that we knew were bullshit from the get-go. We're like, yeah, this is some bullshit. Kind of knew it. Could look at it and knew it was some bullshit. Um, like Ouya. Or, for some of us, for Jewel, Stadia. She looked at Stadia and she was like, yeah, that's some bullshit. Now, me, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt because, unlike Ouya was doomed to fail because, despite it being, at the time, the most successful Kickstarter of all time, they just still did not have the type of money they needed to support that console to make it a success. They just didn't have the money for it. What?
The console is $1 billion investment.
Yeah.
Well, successfully, if you want a successful console, you need $1 billion out the gate.
At minimum $1 billion, and it'll be moderately successful. If they really wanted the Ouya to be successful, they should have had at least $2 billion. $1 billion to get it started, and then another $1 billion to basically either bankroll or get some exclusives and fund some exclusives that would actually make it a must-buy item. And the Ouya had some good ideas. It did. Like every game having a demo on the store. That's a good idea. I wish other console manufacturers would adopt that. I think even Nintendo games. I think every console manufacturer, you should be able to get like a 10, 15, 30 minute demo of the game that basically gives you like a slice of what the game's about on whether or not you'll buy it. They aren't going to do that because how many games have we bought? How many games have you seen where they hyped you up on the shit and then you got it and you probably played maybe 20 or 30 minutes of it and realized, nah.
I think that's the reason why some of these game manufacturers are a bit worried about demos.
Yeah.
It shows the people what they have.
Exactly.
And some people will say, "Get your beeping underwear on." Seriously?
I mean, there's some like, okay, the Epic Game Store with all their free games they were handing out is great because there are games that I got for free through the Epic Game Store that I would have never bought personally, like Rage 2. I would have never bought that game. Okay. Never. never, ever, ever would I have bought Rage 2. Never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, ever,
Not on your life.
never, ever would I have bought Rage 2. But if you want to give it to me for free, sure. You know? I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's like if someone wants to give you, it's kind of like if someone wants, it's kind of like a gold, it's kind of like a cappuccino machine. I would never buy a cappuccino machine, but if someone wanted to give me one, I wouldn't say no to it. Get what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah. Like they're games that I would have never bought. Um, you know, like Just Cause 4. I have Just Cause 4 on the Epic Game Store. I have Just Cause 3 on Steam. I would have never bought those games. Well, Just Cause 3 I think I got through a Humble Bundle. Like the complete edition through a Humble Bundle. So it like came with some other shit. But if it was just on and sale by itself, I wouldn't buy that game. But if you give it to me for free, sure. Or for a severe discount. And I think there's a lot of games where if, you know, there were demos for it, people would be like, I'll play it, but I'm not really ecstatic about it. But anyway, third, back to what we'll be covering. For you not being here, we're going to cover our top 5 game tropes or genres or news topics we're tired of hearing of. Second, moments in gaming that we knew were bullshit from the get-go, like Ouya or Stadia. Third, games we're looking forward to this month or this season. So summer in general, spring, summer. Fourth, knockoff games that were actually better than the game that they were knocking off.
That's a rarity.
No, I mean, when we get to that, I'll give you like 4 that are better than what they were knocking off. Our final topic will be a debate about what is the best 4th, 5th, and 6th gen platformer, 2D and 3D. And finally, we'll finish off with unpopular opinions and sign-offs. So without much ado, you got in a little bit late, so you can introduce yourself, Jewel, and then we'll get into the first topic.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. I had to take care of something important.
It's all right.
I'm Jory Eli Mukhtar, and well, I can only imagine what the first topic is right now.
Well, I actually made a list. I made a list at the end of last week because I was bored and I was like, you know, this is a really good topic, but if I don't make a list, I'll forget or I'll waffle. But I actually did make a list, and I won't be waffling. So I'll go first. And this is from least to greatest, that's the way I made my list. I don't know what you guys will come up with, but that's how I did mine. Number 5, roguelike or roguelite. Either one I'm tired of. Like, this is the latest trend that everyone keeps on jumping on. It's a roguelike. It's a roguelite. Like, like there's some games that I've enjoyed that are roguelikes, like Hades. But overall, I'm just really fucking tired of the genre at this point. Not because the genre is bad, but because for every Hades or Bastion... What?
I said overloaded.
No, for every Hades
like,
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's overloaded. Like for every game that's kind of good, like Slay the Spire, Rogue Legacy, and the one that you mentioned, Hades. There's always something that is kind of at the bottom of the barrel.
Exactly. For every good one, there's like 3 or 4 shit ones.
I wasn't sure which ones are at the bottom of the barrel. So could you help me out with that one?
Well, I mean, there's always for every good one that's like exceptionally good, there's like 3 or 4 shit ones that kind of slip in, and people are like, "Well, I'll get this," and it turns out to be not that good. And I'm just getting kind of tired of it. I'm getting kind of tired of the recycling of you know, of this genre. Um, that's just like there's other like for example, not every game needs to have procedurally generated, randomly generated dungeons. Like you could just simply have a handcrafted dungeon that has its own shit going on. Like not everything has to be roguelike or roguelite.
Like
I'm just
Breath of
saying.
the Wild, I think that would be what you would aim for.
Not particularly, because like I don't think you could do a procedurally generated game in the style of Breath of the Wild, just because there's so much shit that has to come together for you to even get through that game. But like for 2D games and scaled down indie style games like single A games and double A games, yeah, and it gets ridiculous. Um, Number four, Souls like games. I'm tired of Souls like being a big thing. It's
And don't forget to mention that people keep on using Souls games for difficulty levels,
well,
as in easy, medium, hard, Souls.
the thing is like Souls games aren't difficult because they're conventionally difficult. Souls games are difficult because of shoddy game design. For example, I recently beat Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I enjoy the game overall. Overall, it's a very enjoyable game. My only real complaints with the title is that the gameplay design is too Souls-like. Now, full disclosure, when I played the game, I played it on Jedi Master difficulty, which is the highest difficulty in the game, because whenever I play Star Wars games, I tend to play them on high difficulties. But the thing that I noticed while playing the game is on the higher difficulties, like on lower difficulty, you can kind of just run up to enemies and hit them with your lightsaber. And they just go out very quickly. 1 or 2 hits, maybe 3, 4 if they're tougher. Now, unless it's a boss, then you got to work for it, but still not that difficult. On higher difficulty, you have to basically play very defensively. And it kind of takes the fun out of playing the game. And that's not that's not what I would consider like to me that's not fun to play a game that just makes combat a chore. Especially when combat is such a major aspect of that game. That's not fun to me. Other topic I'm tired of: Switch Pro anything. I'm tired of hearing about the Switch Pro. I'm tired of hearing people putting out videos.
Yeah.
The Switch Pro, look, the Switch right now is sitting at over 80 million install base. Okay, they're households that have bought 2 Switches. Okay, Nintendo is not going to make a gaming device that's going to be substantially more powerful than the shit they have now. The basic Switch they have now. So even if they come out with a new Switch, it's going to be like the jump from the 3DS to the new 3DS. Don't expect there to be like this major jump in power. It ain't happening. Okay? Number 2, people giving out rumors with no evidence or substantial evidence. It's just hearsay rumors. If you're gonna state a rumor and you don't have any evidence to support the rumor, then I'm not listening to what you have to say. And my number 1 topic or trope that I'm tired, or news story I'm tired of hearing about, is E3 or GameStop is back. Stop with that shit. E3 is not back. Okay?
I was gonna say, I cut one of those.
E3 died in
And
2015.
I would say,
Yeah.
I'd say cut GameStop.
I'll be honest with you. E3
I want to at least have a laugh at E3.
E3 died. E3 died when it became less about the games and more about the fucking corporations making the games. All right? So basically E3 died like 20 years ago. Okay, when
Uh,
E3 stopped being open to the public, and in order for people to get in, they had to either like initially it used to be open to everybody, then it became about the press and it was closed off to everyone else. Then they opened it up to people, but you had to spend like $200, $300 for a fucking pass. So
yeah,
let me
it
get
was
this
about
straight: a consumer
Per day,
show
mind you.
per day. A consumer show. Well, it depends on the day. Like if you wanted E3 lasts like 3.5 days, 4 days. If you wanted a pass for all the days, it was like $400 or $300, something like that. If you wanted it just for
Holy
one day,
shit.
it was like $100. But still, I mean, like something that like you're selling a product that you want to get to the largest audience possible. But the big show, to show it off to people, you're charging people to come in and see it. Fuck you. Okay? And E3 started doing that shit in the late 90s, early 2000s. So E3's been dying since then. Okay?
yeah, it was about I think you're right, about 2005, 2006. I think it was after the PS it was after the seventh gen was announced. At least a year
Yeah.
or so after it was when it died.
So why the fuck like people are like E3's back. E3's a fucking joke and it's been dying for years. Stop trying to beat this dead horse into something else. It's dead. Let it go.
I realized that. Well, for me, I realized it was dead in 2015. So, just with everybody, just by how a lot of people, you know,
What, the Wii U debacle?
Wii U debacle and the complete just stupidity of Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah,
It's kind of like whatever,
yeah.
dead to me. But yeah, I think if you want to be objective about it, yeah, E3 died about 2005, 2006.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the E3 people saying E3 is back, man. I'm so fucked. Look, E3 is dead. All right, E3 is over and done for. Like okay, you are not going to see like if E3 in order like maybe you can see an aspect of E3 go on, but it's not going to be like it was, and it shouldn't be like it was. It was this big fucking debacle where EA, Microsoft, Sony, to a minor extent Nintendo, Activision, all these big companies would get into a big circle, unzip their pants, reach in, and give themselves a circle jerk. That's all E3 turned out to be for the last few years. And gamers who were gullible and dumbasses would go in there and be like, yeah, yeah. It's like they aren't doing it for you; they're only doing it to themselves. This is a big congratulatory circle jerk for just them in the circle. Okay, you are not in the circle; you aren't getting any satisfaction. Um, and so gamers. I mean, I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay, and GameStop. I mean, that company's been shit for years. You know.
I would say E3 only comes around once every year, which is which I could actually tolerate. It's GameStop I have a more bigger problem with.
Yeah, GameStop. GameStop is the only like. Here's the thing, okay? If you live someplace where the only place where you can buy games is GameStop, I feel sorry for you. But we have so many options now. There's Walmart with their $10 guarantee. There's Amazon where they used to have a $10 guarantee on new games, but now it's like the shit gets delivered right to your house. Okay, how can you beat that? You don't even have to leave your fucking house to buy a game. It gets delivered to your house. You can't beat that. That's even better than Walmart. Because I don't know about you, I don't like shopping at Walmart. But Amazon, they deliver my games right to my house.
I was gonna say, I can tolerate shopping at Walmart if it has at least something to look at.
I cannot. I had to return something for my house because I bought a dehumidifier because I was going to dehumidify the area of my house where the mold had been removed to dry it out. But my independent contractor took care of it for me, so I didn't need the dehumidifier. So I returned it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just walk around Walmart because Walmart had the cheapest dehumidifier, and I ordered it off of online. and I returned it to my local Walmart, and I was like, I really fucking hate being in this store. Like, I'm walking around with a cart, and I'm like, I have money, I want to spend it, but I fucking hate this store. And I literally took my cart and walked out, like kind of abandoned it, Leroy Jenkins style, and walked out of the store. And I felt so good. I fucking hate Walmart. If Walmart was a person and I found out they were run over, I wouldn't laugh, but I wouldn't really feel that sad about it either.
You must have a jank Walmart. Mine's is at least decent.
No, it's just, it could just be me, but there's like two Walmarts near me. There's like a smaller Walmart because it's near a neighborhood, and then there's one that's near the mall that's like a huge super Walmart. They're both
super Walmarts, right?
No, they're both technically super Walmarts. It's just the smaller one is near the neighborhood because it just doesn't have enough space to be like your typical super Walmart. But here's what I notice about Walmart employees, okay? Walmart employees, no matter how much they're getting paid. Have you ever seen people who just look like they don't want to fucking be there? That's how Walmart employees look like near where I live.
The only places I've seen that is in the clothing aisle and the jewelry.
No, every employee at Walmart looks like they don't. I've seen the manager come out of the office and they look like, I don't want to fucking be here. Like everyone, everyone at Walmart. And here's the thing, okay? If there's a store where the employees don't want to be there, the customers can feel that shit. So when I see that, I'm like, you don't want to be here? I don't want to fucking shop here. Not to mention, Walmart's always like, we have the lowest prices. Bullshit, you do.
I found lower prices on Amazon.
At what expense?
It depends on what. It depends. Like sometimes if you go to the clearance rack, Walmart has low prices. But I don't buy shit off the clearance rack at Walmart. But here's what I've noticed at Walmart, okay? Walmart's food section is a fucking ripoff, okay? If you go to a dedicated grocery store, you will find better prices on everything that Walmart's like, lower prices. Now, electronics and shit, if you shop, like some shit at Walmart is cheap. But here's the thing. If you get shit at Walmart that's too cheap, it's gonna fall apart after a month or 2 months if it's electronic. Like if you get some earbuds or headphones from Walmart, that shit's probably gonna break unless it's like a national brand. Like if you're getting like Sam's Club earbuds, that shit's probably gonna break in like 2 or 3 months, tops. So yeah, Walmart. I hate Walmart. But yeah, like for me, like I just, like that's how I feel about GameStop. Like I don't even like going into GameStop. Like my girlfriend's like, yeah, I ordered something from GameStop. I'm like, just do Amazon. Just pay the extra $10 and get it from Amazon. You know.
Sometimes if you pre-order a game, especially a full price game from Amazon, sometimes they'll give you a deal and cut $10 off the price.
Yeah, as long as it's not a Nintendo game. Nintendo game, you gonna pay full price. But if it's like a third-party game, yeah, you get it for. Hell, I got Cyberpunk 2077 for $50. Now, if I had paid $60 for that game, I'd be pissed off. 50? I'll cut him some slack.
Only 10 more dollars makes a difference.
Well, when you're not charging me AAA prices for a game, I don't get as mad about it. Like if you're charging me $60 and the shit's fucked up, I will get very upset. like I bought Elder Scrolls V Skyrim on the PS3. You know, the most broken console version of that game back in the day. And that was one of the first times where I literally returned something and I was like, this shit is unplayable. But yeah, I'm tired of people talking about how GameStop is coming back. GameStop is not coming back. Fuck GameStop. I'm tired of hearing about GameStop. I fucking hate that company. Fuck them.
At least I could agree with you on hearing how GameStop trying to revive.
Just go buy from someplace else. There's so many places where you can get games from. It's not like back in the day when a lot of places like where Walmart had like no discounts on their game and like a lot of games they'd only like Walmart back in the day, their game section would only have the big games and the family games. So for the more niche shit or like RPGs, like stuff that wasn't big market shit, you had to go to GameStop. It's not like that anymore. Almost everything you want, you can either order online, have it delivered to your house, or get it from someplace else. Stop going to GameStop. Fuck GameStop. I hate that company. So those are my top 5 tropes news cycles, and I'm just tired of people talking about GameStop. Tired of it. Tired of GameStop.
I could at least give my 3.
Okay, go ahead.
And one of them is from yours, though. I place that number 2.
Okay.
Hearing about GameStop so much. Come on. We already know GameStop is dead. Let it sleep.
Yeah, let it die.
The third one for me would be hearing about Stadia specifically. I mean, come on, you trust yourself so badly on a bad concept.
Well, I'm not going to say Stadia is
trying to stay alive.
I'm not going to say Stadia is a bad concept because there are 2 services that are doing relatively well that are.
I was saying Stadia's concept of no console ever needed.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. There are two companies that have cloud-based gaming going right now. One of which is doing okay, the other one's doing damn well. That has you don't need a console to play their games, and they're doing fine. Actually, there's 3. There's Steam, there's Microsoft, and there's Nvidia. And here's the thing. Google has more money than 2 of those companies. Steam and Nvidia. And yet they managed to fuck up something that, like, these people, like, Google knows cloud-based gaming, but apparently cloud-based applications and shit, but apparently, they fucked that up.
It's just that I feel like if you're trying to at least have a service that keeps your game count that keeps the games that you have high or low in a sense, then at least you could do is put on a console so you could actually use a controller, or at least a controller adapter. And
I agree.
I will say that Steam is a mixed bag, since you don't know what you're gonna get in some cases. And I wasn't sure about Nvidia, but I can understand where you're going at there.
I mean that's the sad thing, is that, like, Microsoft's with their Game Pass and xCloud, they're basically doing what Google was trying to do, but better. The same thing with Nvidia and Steam, Virtual Play, that type of shit. Like 4 companies try to do cloud-based gaming, 3 of which are doing it much better than Google, which is a tech company, but apparently they couldn't get this shit right. It's the equivalent of having a professional porn star show up, and to shoot a scene, and then they can't do shit. It's like, really? Well, we just pulled 3 amateurs off the street, and they're laying it down. So, what's wrong with you? That's Google. Google, like, the one thing you're supposed to be good at as a tech company, you can't even do that right. Oh well, it's Google.
And my number 1, I'm sick and effing tired of all these first-person gun games that keep on saying that they're gonna innovate, they're gonna expand the gaming world. And it's driving me crazy that all these first-person games are eating up all the spotlight when it's hard to actually really make something that's good when it's all you that's facing camera that's facing the world in a sense. You know what I'm saying, right?
Well, now the big thing is VR. They're all like, "Whoa, we'll do it with VR, VR, VR." I'm like, for real?
Yeah, yeah. That's what my thing is. An extension. Like first person and VR are kind of interchangeable to me, and I feel like if you put those two together, it makes more. It makes the most vanilla experience of gaming in the world.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say that unless you're doing something that's truly unique or interesting, VR is a gimmick and not a. VR is a cheap gimmick, like, unless you're doing something interesting with it. Like, I have to
Yeah,
be honest. I recently played Half Life Alyx, and that game uses VR well. I was like, this is actually good VR. Um,
that actually has flavor in it, and not vanilla. I was just wondering. You said that Half-Life Alyx is good enough to not be vanilla. Okay, calling me surprised.
so, anyway, that's my opinion. Kanoshi, you want to give your list of annoyances you're tired of hearing about in the gaming sphere, the gamosphere?
I'm tired of hearing about hardware shortages. Uh, there's nothing you can do about it, and reporting and yelling about it isn't going to change the fact that you know isn't going to change the fact that isn't going to make the suppliers isn't going to make the supply even more plentiful. Uh, you know, sooner. And yeah, I mean, at the same time, there's really nothing to play on these new consoles.
I
So
mean,
I don't know why you're such in a hurry to so in a hurry to get. I mean, there's a couple games, but you know, especially with the high price hikes of the some of the games like 70 buck going to $70. Yeah. Um, Tired of hearing about the Switch Pro as well. Uh, it's been a rumor for several years. Uh, They'll no hide or hair of it, so I'm just guessing people are just making it up for clout chasing. Uh, if Nintendo's going to announce a new Switch, it's probably going to be another console
what?
at this point. So if Nintendo's going to announce a new Switch, it's probably going to be another console at this point.
Eh,
Uh,
but can you call the Switch a console, really?
Huh.
Isn't it more like a
I
handheld at this point?
yeah, for most
uh,
people use it as a handheld. So
And to be honest, even if they do announce a new Switch, isn't it just going to be the jump between the 3DS and the new 3DS?
might be, yeah. Like I said, if they announce it, it's just going to, probably have a higher clock CPU or a better CPU, GPU combination. It's gonna be slightly faster.
I
You'll be
mean,
able to play it.
basically, like, okay, if the Switch's CPU was essentially using 4-year-old tech that was top of the line 4 years before it came out, it'll be using a chip that's still 4 years old, that's still obsolete by the time it hits the market. It'll just be 4 years from now and not 4 years from when the Switch released. That's still going to be an underpowered device for where gaming is going, for what all the little special effects and shit these developers want to add into their AAA games. So, like I said, if you want to play these games with your bleep blorps and your sweat going down people's faces and fucking luminous rays and all that shit. Just get a fucking PS5 or a gaming PC, or build a gaming PC. I don't give a fuck. But you're not gonna get it off of a hybrid console handheld. Sorry. Get the fuck over it. Okay? You want all that shit? Go build a PC or buy a PS5 or Xbox One.
Buy, build a PC. Buying the other two is gonna bite more in your pocket.
You know, actually, for the amount of money, for believe it or not, the PS5 and like buying a console. If you don't want to build a PC, buying a Series X or a PS5 is actually a good idea. Really, if you want the most bang for your buck for a next gen system, I would say the Xbox Series X gives you the most bang for your buck because it's backwards compatible with all that old shit. Plus, it's got Game Pass. Plus, you can, if you pay $20. What?
I was trying to say that if I remember right, PC is cheaper than getting an Xbox or a PS5.
Not for what you want. Not for modern gaming.
No, like the Xbox Series S is probably, you're not gonna, because it does 1440p gaming, some games with 120 FPS. You can't get that for $300. You can't build a $300 PC with that sort of with that sort of ability.
No. However, if you want to build a PC that is on par or surpasses what that's future proof. So basically, you're going to spend at least $1,000. Even without the GPU shortage, you would spend about $1,000. So that's still like that's still more.
If you can evade the bit, I get you. I was just saying that at least evade the thing. It's a lot cheaper than trying to get. As long as you're trying to evade the processing cards that the Bitcoin users use.
No, I mean, Bitcoin isn't the only factor.
It's the fact that basically a lot of the components that are being used to make these new consoles, like there's a pool of components that all of them are drawing from to make all this shit, and a lot of it is going to the new consoles. A lot of it's just a shortage due to just all the other shit going on in the world. But
it's a lot because of the pandemic. There was a lot more demand for computing power.
Yeah,
a
lot of people working from home. A lot of people working from home. A lot of companies started using up buying capacity in server farms so that they could have their employees work from home. A lot of places are still have their employees working from home because they found out they get just as much work done and we aren't spending as much money for office shit, and people can work from home. So it's a win-win. So I mean, what I'm saying is this: if you want to build a decent, like even without the GPU shortage, if you want to build a decent gaming PC that's somewhat future-proof for the next 5 years, you would have to spend at least $1,000. Really, I mean, that's bare minimum. You're cutting corners on shit that's not ultra important. If you want a great gaming rig, but not like, oh my god, I'm losing tons of money, $1,500. Because the thing is, you're gonna need a good CPU, if not great CPU, but a good one. You're gonna need a motherboard that's got some good future proofing built into it. So you're gonna need a modern motherboard that goes with the CPU. Then you're gonna need a good GPU, and you're gonna need a good hard drive, and cooling and that type of shit. So
yeah, that's why I was thinking that it would for a good price you at least have. I mean, for a good price that's under those two, you at least be able to have a decent gaming PC.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is, like, if you price it out, if you get a good future-proof level motherboard, like a good future-proof motherboard. I don't mean some old shit that was obsolete before you put anything in. So if you want to upgrade your PC or add stuff to it, you can't. That's kind of like what happened to my PC. Even if I wanted to add more shit to it, at this point, since I have an old motherboard, I would just have to get a new motherboard. If you want a decent motherboard, you're looking at least $200, $200 to $250, and that's just the motherboard. Okay. A decent case.
Yikes.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you get a good motherboard, it can last you 10, 15 years. Because you can just keep on adding shit to upgrade it. So it's like, yeah, $250 seems like a lot of money, but when you factor that out over 10 years, that's actually a really good bargain.
That's close to about $20 every year.
Yeah, so you look at $250 for a good motherboard. Like the higher end ones can be up to $500. So $250 is just decent future proof. And then you factor in a good CPU. That's, you know, a decent CPU is like, let's say $500. So you're at $750 at that point. Then a graphics card. Now, if it were me, I could take my graphics card that I have right now, because it's a 5700 XT, and put it into a computer I'm building. So I don't have to spend money on a graphics card. So I still am under my $100 budget. But then, you know, I might want to put a better cooler in my thing, and I can just simply take all my hard drives and put them out. So I don't have to spend. The fuck is this calling me?
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not a spam call. And lately I've been seeing advertisements say wanting to help you get rid of those spam calls. So I'm not sure if your mileage may vary on that.
There, I turned off my. I turned off the ringer. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I agree. I agree with all of it. I'm tired of hardware shortages. Because if you keep on talking it up, it's just going to make it worse.
For me, I'm just hoping that the shortage is gonna expire.
It's not gonna come back anytime soon. Because the thing is that demand, like, it's not going to catch up until demand starts going down and production starts going up. And production's not going to go up. Production's not is not going to reach demand for at least another 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while to recover. It's just that if anything, I'll be glad to not hear about shortages for electronic supply for a while.
But if you have some old shit, like I said, if you have an old graphics card, hold on to it. Don't overclock it, because that wears it out faster.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bugs me the most. People overclock something.
I mean, overclocking is fine if you're only doing it for like an hour, but if you're constantly overclocking your hardware, that's not good. Anyway, I guess we can move on to our next topic. What moment in gaming were you like, this is some bullshit? This shit's gonna fail harder than a fat kid trying to swan dive into a pool. So, who's gonna go first?
What was the question?
What moment in gaming did you know that something was announced and you knew it was gonna fail? Like, the Xbox One announcement with Don Matrick, the Ouya, Stadia, stuff like that.
For me, it was Artifact, especially since it was from Steam. Ooh.
What? That was the mark of the beast. Was that it was from Steam?
No, I knew that. After all the years that Steam have yet to release something, and then they came out with this, I knew that there's going to be a mess to watch.
All right.
As in, get the popcorn and watch the disaster. And I was right.
I mean, but doesn't Steam have defense?
Came out,
Doesn't Steam have Defense of the Ancients though?
Yeah. Here's the thing. They even hired They even hired Richard Garfield, the creator of Magic the Gathering, to help them make that game.
Fair enough.
And it crashed. It crashed so hard that 90% of the players left within the first month.
Well, to be fair, I mean, at that point, wasn't there a saturation of those card battle games?
I was gonna say that yeah, your mileage may vary on that, but with everything in with everything belonging to Steam in a sense, and a $20 gate, it was already a mess.
All right.
And even when it went free to play, it was so bad that they honestly might be closing it down and trying to quote unquote reboot it.
Well, I mean,
And
I
that
was
one of the biggest highlights for me.
I was kind of rooting for it a little bit, just because there did need to be some extra competition in the sphere of card battle MOBA type games.
Considering it was just Hearthstone 3 times over.
No, I understand that. I'm just simply saying there should have been some. It's like this. If another soda company came out and said we're gonna go up head to head against Coke and Pepsi, I would say, even if I prefer Coke, I would say it's good that there's someone else coming to the market, because there needs to be some competition between. It's not healthy to only have two at the top of the mountain. There needs to be some competition there.
I was just saying that if anything, there's usually has to be good competition in order to really make a difference, or at least make you stand out and consider them.
Well, that's true, but I mean, when you have something mediocre like Artifact, and then like you have other shit monopolizing people's time, you know.
Mediocre? I question how you think it's mediocre when it's honestly kind of as bad as Sticker Star.
I mean, I wouldn't put it at Sticker Star's level, just because Sticker Star is particularly bad. Artifact, from what I played of it and what I saw of it, it just was kind of like, this is kind of like I think what hurt Artifact, in my opinion, was the over monetization. How getting new cards was a slog. Clearly someone at Valve said, like, some executive at Valve was like, hey, card battle MOBAs are popular. We have a lot of money. Let's make a card battle MOBA that'll make us more money. Like, no one had, like, if Valve had done a card battle MOBA that actually, like, had been never mind. I'm not even going to get into it. They're IPs that Valve owns the rights to, that they could have announced, that would have been more interesting than them making fucking Artifact, and that's all I'll say.
I was gonna make the joke that they should learn to count to 3.
They could have made they could have fucking made they could have made Half-Life 3.
Joke of 3.
They could have made Left 4 Dead 3. They could have made Portal 3. They could have like, all these games. Hell, they could have made a card battle game set in the Half-Life universe where it like had like a story where you play like one of those shaman from who from the Combine, who came to Earth, maybe they can't fight, but they can summon creatures from the Valve universe, because Half-Life and Portal take place in the same. They share the same universe. So like they could summon like creatures and beings from those two. Nah, fuck that. No, we artifact. I mean, it's just
Defense of the Ancients. If anybody's wondering, the subtitles.
here's the thing. I don't work for you, Valve, but you could give me money and I could totally figure this shit out for you. And I don't need a lot of money. I don't want a lot of money. You just pay me like 30 a year. And I'll just, I'll give you guys ideas. I'll be an idea man. Kenoshi, you have anything where you're like, man, this is gonna fail? This is gonna fail. This is gonna hit a brick wall like the coyote running after the roadrunner.
The PS3's $599 and no big exclusive. Well, okay, they had Resistance Fall of Man, but
and Lair.
Yeah, 590. Yeah, Resistance Fall of Man and Lair, $599. It was. And some of the things they were saying, like, oh, people have to work 2 jobs to get this system. I'm just kind of like, what? Really?
That is not a mark of praise, brah.
Plus, I think a lot of people, like, how long did it take for people? By the time people started moving on to Blu-ray, Netflix streaming stuff became a thing.
Yeah, that was the PS4. That was Sony, like, yeah, the PS4 is gonna be the future. It's like we're gonna have 4K Blu-ray. It's like, dude, no one gives a shit because we have streaming.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Watching video natively, obviously, on native hardware looks better, but it's not that bad that people actually. Most people are going to care that much.
Man, let's keep it real. Most people who stream Netflix, Hulu, all that shit, they're doing it on a laptop or a tablet. So they're not seeing it, they're not looking at it on a big screen any goddamn way. So what's the point of it's 4K? Because the bigger the screen, the more resolution matters. If you're looking on a tiny little screen, the resolution doesn't fucking matter. But whatever. It is what it is. But I agree. Yeah, the PS3 with that $300 or $599, and they didn't really have any big exclusives at the time. Yeah, that was that the PS3. How third parties supported the PS3. And how third parties fucked over the Wii U, that's when I knew third parties were full of shit.
Yeah.
You cannot call yourself a serious gamer and be like, well, they're not, third parties needs big sales. Because let me tell you something, the PS3 was selling abysmally the first 2-3 years it was on the market. It was selling like shit.
They only had one game worth playing, and that was Resistance Fall of Man.
And third parties stuck by that piece of shit too.
Yeah, that's what really bugs me about the PS3. But again, I think Sony paid for a lot of those.
Oh yeah, they
paid for deals. So.
I mean, that's why that's why Sony was losing all that money.
It wasn't because third parties were feeling bad for Sony. It's because they were getting paid.
Yeah. They were either getting money directly, or Sony was like, look, we'll pay for your ad campaign, or we'll subsidize the development of this game. And that's what happened. It's the reason, and that's also what happened to the Wii. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Seeing how third parties treat the Wii U, it kind of made me really.
Mom, I'm on a podcast.
Really
Do you need
trust
something?
them in the first place. And also the fact,
Okay, bye.
even though the Wii U had its own problems, I feel like it was more along those guys' fault that had troubles than the Wii U had made its own.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think the Wii U, I'm not going to keep on beating a dead horse. I think it was a combination of sabotage and also Nintendo kind of getting their ass up on their shoulders after the success of the Wii. But that's Nintendo. That's Nintendo's kind of big problem is that they get arrogant, and then they get their ass up on their shoulders, and that happens. Like Nintendo got arrogant with the Nintendo with the original NES during the third gen. So they kind of let Sega come in and take like 60% of their market share with the Sega Genesis. Um, and then they got arrogant with the SNES with Sony, and Sony took their game plan and came out with the PS1. Then they got arrogant with the N64. Um, then they started not being arrogant with the GameCube. They actually tried to work out, but they still got fucked over. Then with the Wii, Nintendo said, "Fuck you, we're gonna do our own shit." And the Wii was very successful. And then Nintendo got arrogant at the end of the Wii, and basically with the Wii U. And first of all, they counted on casuals way too goddamn much. Which is, you think Sony would have taught everyone don't rely on casuals for shit, and Microsoft especially. With the Xbox 360, because all those 360 fanboys were like 360 for life and all that shit. When the Xbox One came out, they jumped ship to the PS4. Okay? And they were okay with that too. So, I don't know what's wrong with these people. I don't get it. But whatever. Tis what it is. So Jewel, have you given your
I
you knew it
I
was
said
gonna
artifacts.
fail? Artifact. That's right. I guess it's my turn then. I'm going with the Xbox One.
So two
uh,
consoles in a game.
the Don Matrick when Don Matrick came out there and said we have a device like people don't want to have to be always connected to the internet. We have a device for people like that. It's called the Xbox 360. I was like, I know this motherfucker didn't just say that shit out loud. And even Jeff Keighley with his two-faced ass was like, so that's what you're telling people. You're telling people that if they don't want to always be connected to the internet, that they should just keep their 360s. And Don Matrick knew he fucked up when Jeff Keighley said that. He tried to walk the shit back. And he just couldn't. I was like, man, the Xbox One is fucked. Like I was like, this is not gonna work out the way everyone thinks it is. So, yeah. There you go. Okay then. So next we have what games are you looking forward to this month or this season? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Biomutant looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, me too. I pre-ordered that game on Steam because I was like, yeah, I've been looking forward to this game for a while. I want it to be good. I don't need it to be good. I just want it to be good. I hope it is good. It's definitely been in development long enough to be good. For lack of a better term. So yeah, I also I pre-ordered a whole bunch of games. I pre-ordered Biomutant. I pre-ordered Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD remaster because I lost my PlayStation 2 copy of that game. So I'm like, I'll get this one. Why not? So, and because
Anything I could agree with you. Yeah, I was gonna. Never mind. Sorry.
no, well, I was just saying, and because I'm an idiot, I also pre-ordered Capcom Arcade Stadium. Even though I have most of these games multiple times over. I'm like, yeah, but you can't have enough Final Fight in your life. I mean, how many times? How many times? I mean, how? I mean, you can't have enough Mike Hagger pile driving motherfuckers for no reason. Sorry, suplexing motherfuckers for no goddamn reason. So, yeah. But yeah, so
For
what do you?
me,
Yeah, what have you been looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to a Shin Megami Tensei, as you guys are. Um, Metopia, Metopia to see how many memes could be pulled out of that one. And let me see real quick. Where was that one I was looking at? Oh, oh yeah, Game Builder Garage. I'm going to see how those turn out. So, since if anything, those are those are pretty much my kind of games in a sense.
All right. Metopia, when the original one on the
I
3DS
say
was
I'm
announced,
looking
I was like,
forward
this
to the
looks
meme.
cool. Yeah.
I was looking forward to the meme factor of it. So,
But I was like, ooh.
and the last game I'm looking forward to beyond that, um, is going to be coming out July 9th, really.
What, Metopia?
No, it'll be actually the second Monster Hunter Stories game.
Oh yeah. That game's coming to PC too. Yeah, I'm waiting because I got the first one and I played it. I played like 30% of it, and I was like, this like other games came up and I just kind of forgot about it. But now it's coming on PC, I'll probably get it.
Yeah.
I'll probably get the second one.
Well, if anything, it is a pretty neat game. Even if it does make me wonder how they how they fit the rock paper scissors system in there.
I'm sure they'll figure out something. Now, if only Capcom would make a new Breath of Fire, bastards. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on to the next topic. What knockoff games have you played that you realized were better than the game they were knocking off?
Okay, this is probably one one of the times I could get a little weird with my game
All right.
because I was remembering one RPG that I felt was weird for an RPG at times. And what was it? I know it's around here. Not Stella Glow. Oh yeah, the Faerun series.
The what
Faerun
series?
2, 3. Fairune.
Faerun. Huh.
Yeah. Faerun 2 to be precise, since let's just say it's a real simple knockoff of and satire of RPGs in general, but in a sense, all you have to do is try to find your way to the end, trying to discover trying to solve puzzles, destroying your villains by running into them, and basically uncovering the story that's in the game.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, though Faerun 2 is something I haven't fully beaten yet, at least under an hour. Yes, you can actually speedrun this game, and I'm trying to do that, and
Speedrunning an RPG. That's tough. Kenoshi, your turn.
Let's say Ukulele and the Impossible Layer.
And it's a knockoff of.
Uh, Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. In a good way.
Yeah. It's pretty good. One of the things I really like about it is having enough creativity to actually have a platform, the platforms being connected to something. Because if you notice, like all the platforms actually have a reason for being there, rather than rather
Floating
than
in the
just a
air.
lot of floating in the air. I don't know. That extra attention to detail.
Well, I mean, you have to remember that, Platonic, I mean, these are the people, a lot of them are the people who made Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3. Like, these people have a pedigree,
Yeah.
So, well, speaking of Platonic and people being used to being rare, I guess
What's yours?
I've got five. I've got five knockoffs that are better than the original. Everyone knows Mario 64. A lot of people love that game a lot. I like it. I used to think, but I mean, I can clearly see that, like, for 3D platformers, there are other 3D platformers even on the same console that are better than Mario 64. So, I'm going with two games that are better than Mario 64 that are also 3D platformers. Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie. Come on. Mario 64 is great, but
I was gonna say you went with the obvious.
yeah, but Mario 64 is great, but like if you take a step back and look at that game, it's really simplistic. The enemies are simplistic. The fighting enemies are simplistic. It's very simplistic. It's amazing what they were able to do with the physics and stuff, but everything is so fucking simplistic. But all that simplicity and, 3D engine and all that shit, Rare took that and said, that's nice, but we can do better. And they went into the lab and they came out with Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie. And they just literally, if you play Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie, then you go back to Mario 64, you're like, this isn't as good it's not as good as Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie. It's not. It's good. You would not have Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie without Mario 64, but Mario 64 is the inferior game. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sticking on the N64, and this is my personal opinion, but Diddy Kong Racing is a knockoff of Mario Kart 64. But Diddy Kong Racing is better than Mario Kart 64.
Oh yeah, I've seen gameplay of that game. Definitely looks a lot more fun, and I'm surprised it didn't get as much attention as the Mario 64 did.
Well, there's more shit going on in Mario 64. I mean, in Diddy Kong Racing, you have a single player. You have mirror tracks, which they also have in Mario 64, but actually, to be honest with you, I think most of the kart racing games on the N64 are better than Mario 64. Like Snowboard Kids, Beetle Adventure Racing.
I was about to say that's a bit of a reach. I mean, I can give you.
Well, okay, no, I take that back.
You give me a reach, but
I'll take that back. I can name four.
Games that are better than 64.
I can name 4 kart racing games that are better than Mario 64. Beetle Adventure Racing, Diddy Kong Racing, Snowboard Kids 1, Snowboard Kids 2. All 4 of those games are better than Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64 is overrated.
Even if one is a sequel.
Well, Snowboard Kids 2, Snowboard Kids 1's like Mario Kart 64 in that you don't really have a story mode, or the story mode is just racing. Snowboard Kids 2 actually has like a Diddy Kong Racing as story mode, and it's fun. And you can unlock different snowboards, you can unlock different characters, and they have different characteristics, so it's not, stupid. Beetle Adventure Racing, yeah, the races are long, but they're fun. And Diddy Kong Racing, Diddy Kong Racing is just good. I mean, it's just really fucking good. Better than Mario Kart. And I know a lot of people, Mario Kart kind of sucks. Mario Kart 64 is not that good. The first Mario Kart is not that good. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, the first Mario Kart, you can see the rough edges, but you see potential.
No.
64 evolved that, and
I'm going to keep it real.
I didn't say how much, but I would say the best iteration of it would have been Double Dash.
I'm going to keep it real. even Mario Kart, like of the 16-bit Mario Kart games, Mario Kart Mario Kart on the Game Boy Advance is a better 16-bit Mario Kart. I'm sorry, it is. It's got more tracks. It's got better mechanics. The handling is better. The physics are better. Yeah, I said it.
Get you. I'm just saying that if anything, I at least see the humble beginnings with the Mario Kart series. Though eh, though the evolution was caveman slow.
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't even think the original Mario Kart on the SNES is even that good of a Mode 7 racer. I'll be honest with you. Hell, F-Zero is a better Mode 7 racer, even though you have far less karts to race with. Uh, Vehicles. There's only four vehicles. But I mean, the Japan only mini coupe racing game is a better Mode 7 racer than Mario Kart. Mario Kart just doesn't have a real sense of speed. It's never really had a real sense of speed. And if I'm playing a racing game, I want to go fast and not feel like I'm on a fucking go-kart, which is what Mario Kart is. So I was never really that into Mario Kart. Sadly. But yeah, Mario Kart kind of just, not really all that impressed with Mario Kart.
I'm just having a chuckle here.
So yeah, I said it. Those are my
Games that you're looking forward to.
No, those are my games that I say the knockoffs are better than the original.
Oh, that's right. Those are the games that are knockoffs better than the original.
Yeah, and our final topic before we get to unpopular opinions and sign-offs is what is the best 4th, 5th, and 6th gen platformers, 2D and or 3D? Who wants to go first?
4th, 5th, and 6th.
4th, 5th, and 6th gen.
To the GameCube, right?
No, yeah, Super Nintendo to GameCube. You're correct.
Dang, I'm actually sharp on this one. For platformers 2D, I mean for the 4th gen, I keep it simple and go with Super Mario World. But Donkey Kong Country is the series I would recommend. So, Super Mario World, if you're getting new into it, if you're a veteran, I recommend the Donkey Kong Country series. How about that?
I agree. I would say the best 2D platformer on the Super Nintendo is Donkey Kong Country 2. There isn't, in my opinion, what?
I said the Donkey Kong Country series for the best platformer.
Yeah, but I didn't want to. I had to pick one that was like the best. I didn't want to use the whole series, so I'm going with Donkey Kong Country 2. Donkey Kong Country 2 is the best 2D platformer on the Super Nintendo. It's better than Super Mario World. It's better than Yoshi's Island. It's better than Kirby's Dream Land 3. It's better than Kirby Superstar. It's like there is no 2D platformer on that system that is better than Donkey Kong Country 2. There is no 2D platform on the Genesis that's better than Donkey Kong Country 2. There's no 2D like it's the best 2D platform of the 4th gen. I said it.
It's a large claim there.
I will. If people want to fight me about it, they can. They're welcome to, but they better bring some strong evidence and not just opinions. But Kenoshi, do you have the best 2D platformer of the 4th gen? It doesn't have to be a Nintendo console. You could go with Sega or the TurboGrafx 16 if you want to. Although I know no one who had a TurboGrafx 16, so it's probably going to be between the Sega Genesis and the SNES.
Probably Rayman too, because it had at least that's the one I spent the most time.
Fourth gen? That's a fourth gen?
Uh,
I thought that was on the PlayStation.
Oh, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Oh, okay. I thought.
No, we're going fourth gen first, then fifth gen, then sixth gen.
Yeah.
Fourth gen. Super Mario 3. Also, but yeah.
That's
Super
third
Mario
gen.
3. Oh, third gen.
Yeah, that's third gen.
So the SNES, the PlayStation era.
Yep. You can do N64 as well, and then the sixth gen, which is PS2, the original Xbox, GameCube, and the Dreamcast. You can add the Dreamcast as well if you so choose.
SNES would have to be toss up between Super Mario World and Super Metroid. Might actually have to give it to Super Metroid because again, I spent the most time on that game, and plus that was one of the games I tried to 100%. Never quite 100% of that game, but you know, I got pretty close. Let's see. And then the sixth gen would have to be, or the fifth gen would have to be Rayman 2 because of its really strange imagery, and I would recommend playing the N64 version of that game because the PlayStation version of that game just
sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. If you want to play it, you know. Then the sixth gen, that would have to be. What platform is that? Play during the sixth gen. I would probably say the Jak and Daxter series, sixth gen.
All right, fair enough. I guess it's Jewel. You want to go with fifth? You want to go with fifth gen? No, go ahead with fifth gen. I'll go after you.
For me, that would be Mischief Makers.
That's your favorite. So that's a 2D platformer. I want more 2.5D from Mischief Makers.
Yeah, I tried to be careful with my choices there because I could have went there or with Kirby, and I thought Kirby would be too obvious.
If you went with Kirby, I was going to disagree with you vehemently. For me, the best fifth gen platformer, I'm going with 3D. I'm going with Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Tooie is a really good platformer for the fifth gen. Maybe in my opinion, it's better than Spyro the Dragon. Any of the Spyro the Dragons, all three of them combined, Tooie's better. I can't legitimately say Conker's Bad Fur Day because that game is
out there.
Well, no, Conker's Bad Fur Day has kind of slappy controls, but it's fun because of the sense of humor. And just how many different game modes they add into the game. Because, there's a portion of that game where the game turns into a first-person shooter, but it's legitimately a first-person shooter. It actually kind of works. So, Conker's Bad Fur Day, but I would never say it's a really good 3D platformer. But Banjo-Tooie is a legitimately good platformer, so I had to give it to him. Keeping it moving.
Kenoshi?
No, Kenoshi already gave his.
Gen?
He already gave his fifth gen.
Okay.
It was Rayman 2 for the N64. I guess we can go to sixth gen. So I guess you'll go with
you only got one gen left.
Yeah, go with your sixth gen best 2D or 3D platformer. And for those of you who are listening, there were 2D platformers during the um, 6th gen. There just weren't a lot of them, but they existed.
Yeah, and for me, this is the tough one because the only one I experienced was Super Mario Sunshine, but I feel like if I ever had a chance, I'd go with something like Billy Hatcher.
I do like Billy Hatcher. I do think that's a very good game. Like, astonishingly good. Like, better than it had any business being. But for me, my favorite 6th gen platformer, 3D. Once again, I'm going 3D for 6th gen. I know this is gonna sound blasphemy. People are like, "How dare you, sir?" Ratchet and Clank 2, Going Commando.
I was gonna say, well, there's our perverted game of the day.
Not really. I will add another game that was a platformer, technically, in my opinion, that I think had really good physics. Spider-Man 2. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The movie game.
That
I'm not
was a
surprised
decent
there.
game at the time. Yeah.
That game's web slinging mechanics were so good that even now, Insomniac, for their Amazing Spider-Man game, everyone's like, "Oh, it's brilliant, it's brilliant." I'm like, it's just Amazing Spider-Man 2 with modern shit added to it. Like they perfected it in that game in the 6th gen. You know, it's like Street Fighter controls for attack inputs. They perfected it. We don't need to take it any further. You don't need to change. They perfected it. It's like the wheel. Once you invent the wheel, you can improve on it, but you've got the general shit down. So there you go, folks. I know some people are gonna get mad about that. I don't care. So with that being said, we have one last section left, which is unpopular opinions, and who wants to go first?
Huh, for once, I'm actually opinionless this round.
Oh Lord. Okay. Kenoshi, do you have an
Yeah,
unpopular opinion
and
you
this
want
is
to
coming
share?
from somebody.
Uh, no, not this week.
All right. Guess it's up to me. My unpopular opinion is this. Um, this isn't really gaming related, but I just thought I'd share it. I am tired of people who feel the need to share with the world about their children. Now, I don't mean
As
like
in,
minor shit. I mean just like,
you don't. Yeah, I was gonna say that. If anything, I heard about this before. Those people that like to mark every single little tiny minuscule milestone.
yeah, they're like, oh,
Those people.
my kids, like, I don't give a shit. I just want to do. I'm just trying to get my coffee. I don't really give a shit about your kid being an honor roll student at their elementary school. It's elementary school, okay? Like literally, you're learning basic shit. If you can't do reasonably well when you're doing basic shit, I don't know what to say to you. Like, there's nothing I can say at this point. So yeah, that's my that's my unpopular opinion. Also, as an addendum to that, people who always fucking like on their cars, I and baby on board. I don't give a shit. So let me get this straight. I have to change how I drive. I have to be extra careful because you have a baby. Well, how is that fair? I mean, the whole point of
I think the
having
only reason that
children.
it would be. I was gonna say the only reason that I think that would be a little bit fair is if they're sensitive to heavy hits to the car.
No, the whole point of
I said
existing,
that would be iffy.
the whole point of existing in the world is that you don't make yourself into an impetus upon others, an undue impetus upon others. Okay? So if you have kids, you raise them to be decent members of society so that they don't go around robbing, stealing, and killing other people. Because now your fucked up kids have become an impetus upon others. But now you've taken this to the level where I have to change how I drive specifically because you had a kid. I didn't have a kid. I had nothing to do with you having a kid. So I don't have to fucking change how I drive because you had a kid. Okay? Anyway, that's it. That's my unpopular opinion. That's the end of the podcast. Anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up? Anything? Anything?
Well, if anything, I think I could advertise that we'll be having a BS Busters this Saturday, hopefully.
We will. We will be having a BS Busters this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing a review of The Last Jedi. Sorry, not The Last Jedi. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Not The Last Jedi. Star Wars Fallen Order. I will be giving a review of that, mostly because I beat it and I'm like...
Or spoiler free?
I mean, the game... Let's see, when did the game come out? Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
I was asking just in case. Because
I don't remember when it came out. I think it came out over a year ago. Fallen Order. It came out June. It came out 2018. So it's been 3 years at this point. So I think I can give a spoiler. I can give a spoilery. I can give a spoilery review, and no one should be like, "How dare you?" Come on, man.
Yeah, because something like Final Fantasy VII or something like that, that's about 10 years old plus.
No, Final Fantasy VII came out...
For a spoiler.
Final Fantasy VII came out in like 2000.
1990s.
So that game is over 21 years old. That game is old enough to is old enough in some states to drink and get married and buy a car and rent a hotel.
Yeah.
So,
that's the reason why I was saying that games that are that old, they definitely don't need the spoiler warning.
I think 3 years is long enough. I think if it's the same year a game comes out, spoiler free. After a year, everyone who wanted to play that game has probably already played it. So that's where I'm going with. Anyway, that's what I'm going with. So I'll probably give a review of that Saturday on the cast, so that should be fun. Anyway, that's the end of the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace, good night, and...